the term the wicked, giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Rikah Kodash. Before I go into this lesson, I want to remind you I didn't put up the video on a new moon, but the new moon comes in tonight. Today's date is April 10th, 2021, year of hastening of the coming of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. And what I did was I put in, what I might do is put up the video on the new moon after this, just to remind y'all out there. Anyway, I put in the word. Sometimes if you don't have a particular subject, you put in the word in the blue letter or a phrase, and see how many times it comes up. So what I did was I put in the word the wicked, or the phrase the wicked, and it comes up 1,150 times in 296 verses in the KJV. It's also in the New and Old and the New Testament. So there's no way I'm going to read all of these precepts, but what I did was I picked out certain precepts, mainly in the book of Job. Now, the term wicked, we teach that the term the wicked is referring to Esau, Edom, which it is, but the term the wicked, the phrase is in the scriptures before Esau came on the scene. Like, for example, Genesis 18 verse 23, and Abraham drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? And if you read this story, the 18th and the 19th chapter speaks about Sodom and Gomorrah, which the wicked were Canaanites. So Esau didn't even come on the scene. So some Christian can say, well, how can you call the wicked the Edomites when the wicked is mentioned before the Edomites came on the scene? Well, the wicked is referring to someone that does wicked, but ultimately Esau is the wicked. If you go to Malachi 1, you'll see that the Most High refers to Esau as hating Esau and calling him the wicked. Now, even Israel were called the wicked if they did wickedness, but the wicked, the ultimate wicked, are you Edomites. Now, let me read that again. Genesis 18 verse 23. And Abram drew near and said, wilt thou also destroy the righteous with the wicked? So who is the righteous here that Abraham is talking about? He's talking about his beloved cousin, his beloved nephew, Lot, which he refers to as righteous. And before Israelites were called Israelites, they were known as the sons of the Most High, or the sons of God. In Genesis, the 6th chapter, where it speaks about the sons of God, saw that the children of men were beautiful to look upon, the daughters of the children of men. You have these people say that it's talking about angels. It's not talking about, well, it is talking about angels, but angels, because we are the angels. It tells you that in Revelation, the 19th chapter, that the angel told John not to bow down to him because he's a fellow brother in the kingdom. So if you really want to go into it, we are angels in human bodies. We don't have the power of the angels, the mighty power of the angels, because we're contained in this weak body, this chains of darkness. But in Genesis chapter 6, you even got Israelite groups teaching that nonsense. They were actual angels. Anyway, those were the sons of the Most High, the Israelites, before they were being called Israelites. They were only known as the sons of the Most High, which ultimately they were called Israel, Yasha Allah, which means he, prince, which is the son of a king, Allah, power, he, prince of God, he, son of God. So now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go right into the book of Job, because almost all of these precepts containing the term the wicked, referring to Esau, is right here in the book of Job. So Job was definitely a prophet of the Lord. Anyway, it says Job 3 verse 17. This is the first time Job refers to these people as the wicked. It says, Job 3 verse 17, you really have to read from the first verse. It says, the wicked cease from troubling. Now, when you jump up to the first verse, it speaks about him dying. Like he says that he wish he was aborted, or he wish he was a miscarriage. He doesn't use them terms, but that's what he was saying, because of the condition that the Most High Satan put him in. The spiritual demon Satan put it in to test him. There was a bet between Satan and the Most High. So it says the wicked cease from troubling. In other words, the wicked ones, once you're dead, they can't trouble you no more. Now you have the case with this guy George Floyd, and the cop putting his knee on his neck, which some people say it's a psyop. I believe it's a psyop, but that's a whole nother lesson. Look up the word psyop if you don't understand the word. But let's say that actually happened. The man put his knee on his neck for now. It used to be 8 minutes 45 seconds. Now it's over 9 minutes. And George Floyd was saying, "I can't breathe, oh mama," and then he finally gave up the spirit. Let's go with that scenario. Now, once he gave up the spirit, he was good. The same thing goes with DMX, who and I seen him one time in person at a supermarket, but I didn't say nothing to him. I said, this was years ago, and I said, oh, that's DMX. He had his people with him. It was like 3 a.m. at a supermarket, and I just noticed him, and I knew he lived in that area at that particular time, because my goddaughter's parents lived right next door to where DMX and his family was living. So if they would do videos, they would put her in the video. Now they did one video where Aaliyah did a video and tried to hold my goddaughter. My goddaughter started beating her up, just started punching her in the face and screaming. I guess she sensed the spirits on her. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Anyway, when he finally, his spirit finally separated from his body, he was good. To get an understanding of that, for you newer people up in here, brothers and sisters, a great precept that comes to mind is 2 Corinthians, the 5th chapter, from the 1st verse. You can read down into about the 11th verse or so, and it tells you about when your body, you have a body here on earth, and then you have a body eternal in the heavens that your spirit goes to. And as soon as you go into the spiritual realm and receive that body eternal in the heavens, you don't want to come back to this body. Anyway, let's get back into the subject. See, these things that I just mentioned, those I just mentioned. I could do 3 different lessons on those 3 different things. Explaining death, explaining who the angels are, and I got to go back to that because, like I said, in Genesis the 6th chapter, you even got Israelite groups. I can't point at them and say exactly who, but I do know that GOCC teaches that those are angels, if I'm not mistaken, and they teach that there's mermaids out there. Ain't no goddamn mermaids. And they're basically a church. They're gone. Anyway, it says here, Job 3 verse 17, there the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. You can also go to Isaiah the 57th chapter, and it speaks about them that die do rest in their beds. It says, Job 8 verse 22. I'm just going to go down the line. I'll comment on these precepts. It says, they that hate thee shall be clothed with shame. So who hates us? Esau, the so-called white man. Now, I was watching a video of Sarnetta. He had met up with this guy, this demon, Vocab Malone. And Vocab Malone is talking. And I guess he doesn't realize it, but he says, he's speaking about how Israel is growing, and that it festers. Now, when you look up the word fester, let me see if I can find it, because I was looking at it earlier. Like if you go to Webster's Dictionary online, it says fester. It means to generate pus, putrefy, rot, to cause increasing poisoning, irritation, or bitterness. To undergo or exist in a state of progressive deterioration. So when he says that we're a fester, or we're infestation, that means it's garbage, it's poison, it's not good for you, and you got to get rid of it. So that's how this individual Vocab looks at the Israelites. He despises the Israelites, and somebody said they believe he's a so-called Jew, which I can believe that. Now, I told him to his face, I said, it's possible that you could be an Israelite. Now, when he came on the scene, he kept saying that how his mother was a Sicilian. So, Sicilians are Israelites. But he never mentioned his father. So he would ask him, who's your father? What's your father? And then eventually found out his true name, Reiser, which is a German name. As soon as I heard Reiser, I said, oh, that's a German name. Whether it's a German or Jewish name, it's a German name. So his father is at least a German man. And I said, well, you know what? You can still be an Israelite. Or you could be an Edomite. We don't know. Either way, the Most High is going to destroy you, whether you're an Israelite or not, because you're coming against the men of the Most High. So you fail to realize that we here, that teaching, the teachers, and not just GMS, but other teachers that truly teach the word, and that's out there on the highways and the byways, because that's the group that you focus on. And you focus on GMS, ISUBK, IUIC. Those are the main three, because those are some of the three biggest Israelite groups out there. When you came down here, what is a year and a half, almost 2 years, we're talking about almost 2 years ago. And your thing is to say that we're not the Israelites. We know that we're the Israelites. We're grown men. Okay, you Edomites can't tell us how to think. You know, we're grown ass men and grown women. And through the Spirit, the Most High woke us up to the fact that we were Israelites. And there's too many numbers for you, one guy, because your crew that's with you, they're not coming hard like you. You coming hard by yourself. And you're fighting a losing battle. And you're easy. You're easy to deal with. You're really not that deep. Anyway, let's go back. It says here, Job 8 verse 22, they that hate thee, and vocab hates us. He hates the Israelites. He despises the Israelites, the true Israelites. And he's an apologist for the so-called Jew. Yet at the same time, this devil's called replacement theology, which means that the Christians, which could be of any nation, all the blessings are going to go on these Christians now if they believe in the Messiah. So really, he's pushing out the so-called Jews if he believes that they're the real people. So basically, in the kingdom, they're going to be kind of at the back of the bus, so to speak. And they're not the people. They damn sure ain't the people. Now, are you going to have some Israelites coming out looking like so-called? You damn right. They're going to look like everybody, including Hamites. Including Israelites in Africa. Like currently, the ISUPK, they had researched, I don't know if it was Captain Zarek or one of them, they said that the IUIC takes in Hamites, which they were not Hamites, because you have Israelites scattered throughout the whole planet Earth. When you do a word search on the word scattered concerning Israel, if you can go to Isaiah 11 chapter comes to mind. It mentions Cush. Cush is the land of the Ethiopians. So you're going to have Israelites coming out of every nation, out of heaven, under heaven, and they're going to be looking like those nations. They're going to be speaking like them nations, and they're going to do the things that them heathens did, because they don't know that they're Israelites. That's the difference between the word Grecian and Greek. Now, the elder Malcolm, he had did a video recently, and he going through the Grecians and the Greeks, and he broke down the difference between the Greeks and the Grecians. The Grecians are Israelites out of Greece that spoke the language of the Greeks, but knew that they were Israelites. The whole Pentecost thing, the whole Pentecost thing was those Israelites that were in other lands coming to Jerusalem. So then you have the term Greek, as in Galatians 3 verse 28. The Jews, not the Jews only, but also the Greeks, I'm paraphrasing. Now that term Greeks are Israelites that didn't know that they were Israelites. Like, for example, Timotheus' father was a Greek, meaning in Acts 16 chapter and first verse on down, first couple of verses, he was an Israelite who a woman of the tribe of Yehoiada had fell in love with, and they had a son named Timothy, which was an underling of the Apostle Paul. Timothy wasn't an Edomite. Timothy was an Israelite. So his father was an Israelite that wanted to follow the ways of the Greeks. The individual that took down Jerusalem during the time period of 70 AD, his name was Julius Tiberius Alexander. He had a Greek name. He was a Alexandrian Jew, meaning he was out of Egypt, who grew up as an Israelite, but he wanted to fight on the side of the Romans, and he was a top general. And that's a whole nother subject. See, these are all subjects, man. For y'all out there, well, I don't have no subject. I just gave you four different subjects you can go into. It says, they that hate thee, which is the Edomites, they hate us. And the king of that is Vocab Malone. They that hate thee shall be clothed with shame. They're going to be, Vocab Malone, you're going to be clothed with shame, man. You're going to have your head down. Whether you're an Israelite or Edomite. If you're an Edomite, you're going to have your head down and you're going to be out in the field. If you're an Israelite, you're going to fulfill Daniel the 12th chapter. Some to shame and everlasting contempt. You're going to feel bad about what you did. So the best thing you can do is hope that you're an Israelite. But when you're in the kingdom, you ain't going to be feeling good about yourself. And eventually you'll feel good about yourself. So the only thing you can do is hope like hell you're an Israelite. That's all you can do. It says, 22nd verse again, they that hate thee shall be clothed with shame, and the dwelling place of the wicked shall come to naught. What is the dwelling place of the wicked? Anywhere the wicked dwell. And that anywhere you dwell, you're going to lose your power. Job verse 9 and 24, classic scripture. The earth is given to the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Who are the judges? The Israelites. How did he cover the faces? Key point in time, the Renaissance period. You had a thing called Renaissance art. What they did was they destroyed or painted over or completely destroyed the images, the icons, the frescoes, and mosaics, and placed them with images of themselves. So if they saw a Jeremiah, they would, chop the nose off, chop the face off, paint over it, destroy it all together, and put an image up of some Edomite looking devil, and say, oh, that's Jeremiah. Or Moses. There's a famous sculpture of King David, butt ass neck and looking like a white boy with no beard on his face with a micro penis. And they're saying that that's David. So that's what you devils did. The Moabites didn't do that. The Arabs didn't do that. The Ishmaelites, none of these nations did that, man. You did that. Inside joke. You white people, you did that. The earth is given to them to the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If it's not him, if it's not this, when you think about it, you say, well, who has control over the whole planet Earth? The so-called white man. How they put them images up of themselves over the true images during the time of the Renaissance? It's called Renaissance art. If not, where and who is he? If he's not the wicked, then where is he? Job 11 verse 20. But the eyes of the wicked, Esau, shall fail, and your eyes see afar off. Your eyes see the future. But all that's going to fail, and they shall not escape. They're not going to escape this ultimate destruction, and their hope shall be as the giving up of the ghost, because there's going to be hundreds of millions, even billions of them that are going to die. So the judgment is coming. Job 16 verse 11. The Most High hath delivered me to the ungodly, which are you Edomites, and turned me over into the hand of the wicked. So what should come to mind? A whole bunch of precepts. Main precept, Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, Joel the 3rd chapter. There's so many. Isaiah the 14th chapter. And they shall be captives whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So this is the other half of the movie. The second half of the movie, we get to beat the shit out of you and put you in the field. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So the only thing you Edomites could do is enjoy yourself, which you're not having a good... Look, the middle class is destroyed. Through the super elite, the only people that benefited... How the hell can you benefit in a world pandemic? Well, people did. They went from billionaires to trillionaires. The super elite. And at the same time, the middle class was wiped out. So you have two classes. You have levels of the poor, which you made your Edomite fellows poor for a handful of you to be super rich. So here you losing in your own world. Job 18 verse 5. Yeah, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. '21st verse, Job 18 verse 21. Surely such are the dwellings of the wicked, and this is the place of him that knoweth not the Most High. They don't know the Most High. They don't want to know the Most High. Job 20 verse 5, and you could read this whole pretty much from the 5th verse to the end, which I'm not going to do. It says that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So you compare 200 years, 500 years, 1,000 years to eternity. Your rulership is only for a moment, and you'll never come back into power. And you're going to be the only nation that's going to be done away with, exterminated. Job 20 verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. You're in straits right now. Now what's going to happen with that verdict concerning George Floyd? The only thing that they could do is find that officer guilty and lock his ass up. Or they can find him innocent and acquit him. And all hell's going to break loose. Because if this man is acquitted, this fucking place is going to be on fire, man. All hell is going to break loose. Job 20 verse 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now you have to understand Hebrew. Now you got to go a little deep, because that word wicked, the word there, the actual word there is aimal, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not going to click on it, but based on memory, I believe the word is aimal. And that word aimal means laborer, sufferer, laborer, which represent the Israelites. Job 21 verse 30. That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. Oh, this is another beautiful precept, a chapter. Job 21. That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. Job 29 verse 17. And I break the jaws of the wicked. Now the dog's power is in their what? In their jaws, right? To bite. So Esau power is in his jaws, which is his military might. And pluck the spoil out of his teeth. The spoil is what he took down nations, and the teeth represent the military. So how did Esau get what he has right now? It's through the sword. That was a blessing that Isaac had given to Esau. He said, "You'll be blessed. You'll get the fatness of the land, but you're gonna have to use it. You're gonna have to take it. You have to steal. You have to kill people." So that's your everything that you got it from destroying. And you got to pay for that. Job 31 verse 3. Is not destruction to the wicked, and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity. And that strange punishment to the workers of iniquity is the way we're going to be delivered, the way the Israelites are going to be delivered. We're going to be delivered by the chariots, or the UFOs as you call them, or the UAPs, unidentifiable aerial phenomenon, which are the chariots of Israel. And they're going to beam up the elect of the sons of Israel, and at the same time they're going to be shooting out lasers at you Edomites. And at the same time, you're gonna your military, your Air Force, or whatever you want to call it, will be wiped out of heaven, pursuant to Revelation, the 12th chapter. And then the missiles are going to completely finish you. Job 31 verse 3. Is not destruction to the wicked, and a strange punishment to the workers of iniquity. So you're going to see us, the ships are going to come first, because you got to see us being delivered. Look, and then you're going to notice ICBM missiles, and then you're just going to see fire, destruction, and then you'll be in the spiritual realm, and then you'll be told that you're Edomite, and then your next life, which is going to be quickly, the Most High going to quickly send you back to the earth, so you can go right back, so you can go into captivity under us. That's your future: death, destruction, and captivity, and extermination. So I wouldn't want to be an Edomite for all the tea in China. It says in Job 36 verse 6, He preserveth not the life of the wicked, but giveth right to the poor. The poor are Israelites. Job 38 verse 13, that it might take hold of the ends of the earth, that the wicked might be shaken out of it. They're going to be shaken out of what? They're going to be shaken out of the earth. They're going to be shaken out of the earth. #15 verse, same chapter, Job 38. And from the wicked their light is withholden, and the high arm shall be broken. The high arm represents their military might. The Most High is going to break it to the angels. You're going to go up against the angels. Last precept, and I'm going to close. Job 40 verse 12. Look on everyone that is proud. What does Obadiah said? Immediately you got to go to the book of Obadiah. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwelleth in the cliffs of the rocks. And bring him low, and tread down the wicked in their place. So you're going to be trampled upon. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.